Prepare yourselves for a battle of epic proportions between two titans. Feast upon their voices and revel in their words. This is Dueling Ogres.
Hello, Ogres, and welcome to episode 141. Thank you for joining us, as always, on this memorable Wednesday evening, Earth date January 31st, 2018. I'm your host, Brandon Full, and with me, as always, is my co-host, Remington Hitchcock. Say hello, Remington.
Hi, Brandon. How you doing today?
Good. How are you?
Oh, not too bad.
So what have you been up to?
We're just jumping right into it, huh?
No foreplay. Let's just get right to it.
Getting right into there.
Little diddle. Let's go.
Okay.
Beep, beep, beep.
I have been continuing with the streaming. I've been trying to get in almost in every night, a little bit, maybe an hour, hour and a half. I missed a couple of nights just because I don't even remember what I was doing. I think I was just tired more than anything else.
Yeah.
But you graciously got me a key for Subnautica, which was that what we were talking about last episode, or was it the episode before?
I believe so.
Okay.
It was last episode because that's when you first started talking about streaming.
Yeah. So Brandon got me Subnautica, and I was literally so giddy. I was like, "Oh, Brandon!" So it was a late Christmas gift.
Yeah, a very late Christmas.
Late Christmas gift, and I was so excited to play it. So like, I get into playing, and I'm really over, even though my computer is like way out of date and I need to finish building the rest of my parts, and I just haven't had the money to do so. I can still get it to run, and it looks pretty good even though I'm on low setting.
Yeah.
Now there are still some settings that I could tweak to make it a little lower, and I had to in order to stream because OBS, Open Broadcast Software, is really system intensive. So, I mean, we're talking, when I'm streaming, my CPU usage is, I don't know if OBS just shows my total CPU usage or if it just shows what it's using.
Okay.
I can't remember.
But what were you at?
But I was like, for the Subnautica, probably around 60%.
Holy crap.
Yeah. So I think it's just showing
what OBS is
using, but I'm not 100% sure. So if anybody out there is listening and has used OBS a lot and knows, maybe they can tell me. But I usually float between 40 and 55% anyway. And it went back and forth. You know, it wasn't static 60% the whole time, but I definitely had to drop the level of of the water rendering, the surface water rendering.
Yeah.
And it would get pretty stuttery. So it was kind of hard if you were watching to watch it, I imagine.
It looked good underwater. When you were above, seeing, like, watching the water, the waves.
Yeah.
It wasn't hard to watch, but you could see, you could tell that you had it turned down pretty low.
Yeah. So, I mean, but I didn't really care. And once I wasn't using OBS, it definitely moves a lot more smooth. It's not as jittery. So I streamed for about 2 hours, and I was like, all right, I'm tired. I went from very giddy and smiling the whole time to just locked down. And there's a lot of gathering of resources that you kind of have to do.
Yeah.
I mean, you're constantly trying to keep yourself hydrated as well, because you're in a saltwater environment, so you can't just drink the ocean water. It has to be, gotten from somewhere.
Do you have like a purifier on your ship or something?
So yeah, you have a little fabricator that is in the escape pod, and the fabricator has a bunch of things pre-listed that you can do. And so you go out and you can catch fish with your bare hands.
Okay.
Now, one of the first things you really kind of want to do is make some fins for yourself. And the reason being is that if you're trying to catch a fish, you either have to be real quick on the mouse, because if you try and chase that fish down, it's going to escape you.
Yeah.
If you don't have any fins
because
on.
fish is faster than people's.
It's true. So With fins, they can still outrun you, but you have a better chance of getting them. So there are two kinds of main fish that you really want to eat. It's the peepers, and they have just a giant friggin' eyeball, central eyeball, and then there's the bladderfish. Now the bladderfish you can actually turn into water. It has a lot of filtered water content inside of it.
I wonder if that's true.
What?
If a bladderfish has drinkable water inside of it?
Well, no, because these are all... I don't think any of these are real fish.
A peeper fish is a real fish. I can look it up. I mean, I don't have to look it up right now, but I'm pretty sure a peeper fish is a real kind of fish.
I mean, it might be, but I don't know.
But you ended up playing like lot longer than you intended to, didn't you?
So yeah, I ended up playing for a bit, and I was like, okay, I'm done. I'm just staring at it and just gathering resources. And I don't imagine that it was a lot of fun to watch because I wasn't saying a whole lot. So I said I was tired and I think I was going to go to bed. And then I turned around and played for another 2 hours after that. So
yeah, look.
A bass fish peeper, wood, eyeglass, and business card holder. It's just got...
I was wrong.
Yeah.
I thought, but peeper sounds really familiar.
It does.
Could just
well,
be
so does
bladderfish,
but...
Yeah.
And
yeah,
I'm not
this
saying...
is just a statue of a fish with glasses on.
Right, yeah. And I'm not saying that that there aren't fish that may be actually called that. But in this particular world...
Yeah, they're just a giant-eyed fish.
Yeah. And the bladderfish has... there you can make an emergency flotation device, which I haven't done and haven't used. But if you haven't got around to making a new air tank, because you have a very limited amount of air, that you can hold your breath for. It's essentially what you're doing, because you weren't necessarily prepared to land in an ocean environment.
Yeah.
So one of your top priorities, so you can stay under longer, is build yourself an O2 tank. But until then, they have the emergency flotation device, and I haven't used it, but I assume you have to have a bladderfish and something else. I assume that if you deploy it, it's going to bring you to the surface very quickly.
Okay, yeah, that makes sense.
So maybe quicker than you can actually swim to the surface. But I did not die yet from drowning. I have not died yet from drowning.
Have you died, though?
No, I have not died yet.
Because there's monsters in the ocean, right? I know we talked about this before, but aren't there things that will attack you?
Oh, yes. There are several things. And even some of the little fish, there are little bloodsucker fish or little, they're almost like suckerfish. They have 4 little tentacles that'll shoot out and latch onto you.
Oh, okay.
And they'll just suck your blood. And then there are some little redfish, I can't remember what they're called, that will just bite you. They'll just come along and they'll just bite you like a piranha.
Oh, that's annoying.
Yeah, so, and it'll sap your health pretty quick if you get a lot of bites. So.
Yeah.
And the little suckerfish are really bad.
Do you have weapons that you craft?
You can make a knife.
That's it?
That's it.
You can't make a harpoon gun or a bazooka or anything?
Nope. And they explain it fairly early on when you actually make a knife, because you do need the knife not just for defense, but also for harvesting some things.
Mm-hmm.
But they say when you craft a knife that due to the massacre on some world, weapons have been outlawed or something to that effect, so except for a knife.
In-canon reason why you can't have weapons.
Yeah, exactly. And some people, I just saw this theory the other day that, and this has been around for a while, but this was my first time hearing of it, that this is a precursor to an event that happens in another game that's made by this company. They're happening within the same universe, because as you're on this island and there's I don't want to give too much away for people who actually want to play it.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, if you've been watching anybody play it or you're interested in it, you probably know what the storyline is anyway. There is a chance for you to get off of the island, and within this chance, you find out that you are infected with a virus and that the whole planet is on lockdown from this ancient alien civilization.
Okay.
So, and it's called the Kara virus or the Kara bacteria, which there is, of course, a difference between bacteria and viruses, but that's neither here nor there. It's a video game. And in this other video game that's already created, it's already been out for a while. I can't remember even what the game is called, but there are mutated beasts that you fight against called the Kara.
Oh, okay. So that's not even that far of a jump for them to assume that it's connected.
Yeah. So I don't think that the company who made it has out and out said it yet. I haven't done a lot of research for it. Honestly, this was just an in-passing thing that I wanted to mention.
Man, I love when companies do that kind of stuff, though.
Oh, yeah,
where they connect things together.
Absolutely.
When it's multiple companies connecting things together, that's when it really blows my mind.
Yeah, for sure. What do you have a good example?
There was it's hard to explain because I don't know 100% what it is, but basically there were a whole bunch of games on Steam, a whole lot of indie games that people, when they went through the code, as coders are wont to do, to just look through the code to see if they've missed anything, would find like these weird sigils. And then they figured out that if they started putting these sigils together, it made like a weird star map.
Okay.
But these were all games that were connected to nothing.
Okay.
And all of the maps ended up all leading to one indie game specifically.
Okay. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, so the person who made this big indie game contacted. And the thing is, these were games that were potentially 8 years old.
Oh, wow.
The people who made the games, either the game went this long that they knew to put these in ahead of time, or they would like drop them in an update.
Yeah.
But people found these files years ago.
Oh, wow.
And it just now, within the last like 6 to 8 months, I don't remember, my sense of time is terrible.
Right.
So 6 months to a year and a half ago, they discovered what it all led to.
Huh.
Yeah, so it was this big ARG for a while where people were like, what does this mean? Why do we keep finding these in weird indie games?
That's really cool.
Yeah. And Steam does stuff like that too. Whenever they do the summer and the winter sales, Steam will do like little ARGs sometimes.
Yeah. That's cool. We like a good ARG. Or you do anyway. I don't usually partake in them.
I haven't really partaken in them. I just like to read about them.
Right.
But yeah, it blows my mind. The amount of time. It's like reading a good D&D campaign.
Right.
Except in real life.
Yeah. So what have you been up to?
I picked up Monster Hunter, which I talked about a few weeks ago for the Xbox.
Oh yeah, how is that? I was watching Smoke-a-Loke on Twitch play it.
I wish I knew the matchmaking on Xbox is fucked up right now.
Oh, lame.
And you have to be online to do the gameplay.
That's dumb.
Yeah. So if I had friends that I could play with, I could make a party.
Yeah.
But as it stands now, I just have to go into like open gameplay, and I can't figure out how to get it to work.
Okay, so you have no friends.
Right. I have no friends that are playing Monster Hunter currently.
Right. So if anybody out there is playing Monster Hunter
on the Xbox One and wants to play with the little old Brandon.
The old Brandaroony. The old Brandon Dino.
Get a hold of me.
For the thrill.
Yeah.
That's your Xbox tag still, right?
Space between for and the.
Okay. For space, the space, thrill, space.
Yep. No space. No space after thrill.
It wouldn't really matter.
I went to when I got my PlayStation 3, I went to use For the Thrill as my PlayStation name because I use For the Thrill everywhere.
Yeah, for all your gaming.
It was already taken.
Son of a
on
bitch.
PlayStation. So I'm Dueling Ogres on the PlayStation network.
Nice. Hey, fuck it. We need to get it on the PlayStation somewhere. I don't have one. So.
Yeah, exactly. And you're Dueling Ogres on Steam, right?
Yes, I'm Dueling Ogres on Steam.
So if you have any Steam games or want to connect with Remington, Dueling Ogres.
Yeah, you can find me there.
And I'm For the Thrill. Also,
For the Thrill on Steam.
So do it. Just talk to us.
Now, no spaces on For the Thrill on Steam.
Not on Steam, no.
Right. I like how we were just plugging our own bullshit games.
Yeah, we've lost. This is what the episode is.
Yeah, this is.
If you want to come to my apartment, hang out, it's pretty cool. Make some dinner.
Yeah, it's pretty wide open. It's kind of a.
Yeah, it's an open floor plan, definitely.
Yeah, it's pretty neat. A lot of room.
We can play my GameCube.
It's got a little island in the kitchen.
Yeah,
and I'll stand around and.
We got a couch thing for that island. A little 2-seater love seat couch thing.
I don't understand.
Like where you would put bar stools.
Yeah.
Where the island hangs over. I don't know what it would be called. It's vinyl. It's not like a love seat where it's cloth. But yeah, it's a little love seat there. Instead of 2 bar stools, it's just one big bench with a back.
So it's a bench.
But it has a back.
It's a back bench.
A back bench. It's a basic bench. It's my bottom bench. But yeah, it's good.
Oh, that's good.
So you can come over and enjoy that as well.
Yes.
But that's what I've been up to. Tried to play Monster Hunter, didn't work. I picked up Fire Emblem for my 3DS.
Yeah.
I think I mentioned that last week. I've been playing Fire Emblem a little bit.
Yeah.
It's pretty fun. But besides that, nothing really exciting going on.
That's okay.
I ate a bad breakfast sandwich today and I threw up at work.
I'm sorry for that. How are you feeling now? Because you also had Subway for lunch. So.
Yeah, like...
So not only Subway, but a fucking Italian
literally
sub.
like 20 minutes after I threw up at work, I went through Subway and got an Italian sub.
Yeah.
The spicy Italian.
Yeah.
It helped. I think I just needed actual food on my stomach. I still don't feel 100%.
Yeah.
I'm drinking 7-Up instead of Diet Pepsi to try to calm my stomach a little bit, but...
You poor little man.
Yeah. Otherwise, I'm A-okay and ready to go. And as I'm sure you can tell, I'm in studio today instead of online. So
yeah!
We won't have the problems, hopefully fingers crossed, that we did last episode.
Yeah, unless I just lose the whole fucking episode, because that's how that would happen.
Am I recording?
Yes.
Okay, good.
I tapped the mic anyway.
Okay, perfect.
I didn't test it, so...
You did the ultimate test.
Yep.
You slapped it a little
I slapped it around a little. Just call me Sean Connery. Anyway...
Sometimes they need a good slap. Sean, come on. Sean, what are you doing here?
I'm sorry, I was bored.
I just came to slap your women. Sean, get out of here.
Nobody wants to hear that,
We don't want
Sean.
you here, Sean.
We don't want you here with that woman slapping ability.
Which of these cats are female? Sean.
None of them. There's only one bitch around here, and she's the dog.
Oh, okay.
Where did you think I was going with that?
I thought you were going in a totally different direction.
Apparently.
I thought you were going to have a very pissed off girlfriend.
No.
So she's not home, is she?
She is wonderful.
Well, Sean Connery's leaving. We'll see you later, Sean. I think he just slapped your dog.
Shuck on my balls.
Cool. All right, later.
I started exercising more.
Yeah.
So I'm still working on this weight loss thing. And my goal over this year is to be back down to where I was in high school. So I don't know if we actually talked about this like in full. I started off at 320 pounds. I'm about down to 300 now in this month.
You've lost 20 pounds?
Yes.
Damn.
Yeah. Between 15 to 20. I mean, there's a little bit of I keep going kind of back and forth.
Mm-hmm.
So I guess that's my first little plateau. But I'm doing it by calorie counting. And every time I lose 10 pounds, I recalculate the number of calories that I'm supposed to get in order to lose a pound a week. And then in order to lose 2 pounds a week, I am trying to get myself up to burning 700 calories. Well, for the sake of math, 500 calories a day.
Which is a shit ton of calories to burn a day.
And yet surprisingly not as difficult as I thought. So yesterday I was bad. On my way to work, I didn't feel like fiddling. I had to drop a deposit off. And I didn't feel like fiddling with making some food, so I went ahead and swung through Taco Bell.
Mm-hmm.
Now I got a chicken quesadilla and a soft taco.
Yeah.
And I went ahead and got a Baja Blast. Yeah, ton of sugar, ton of caffeine. Soda is not good for you. Soda is the main thing that I have cut out.
Yeah.
So I get to work and I'm doing my thing and chilling out, and my boss shows up. He comes by once a month or so just to check in, see how everybody's doing, hang out for a couple days, and then he's back to, he's the
driving his Porsche around, throwing trash at poor people.
It's a Ford Explorer, buddy.
Oh, really?
Yep. But he puts a lot of miles on it because he goes Huntington, Charleston, Ashland, Kentucky, and up here.
Oh, okay.
So he floats around the 4 stories. He's part owner. So he gets there and he decides that it's pretty close to lunchtime at this point. So he wants Popeyes. And I was like, fuck. I'm gonna get Popeyes.
Yeah.
I might as well. I'm going there anyway.
There's nothing around.
There's nothing healthy about Popeyes either, really. There's nothing healthy to eat.
But it's fried chicken.
It is fried chicken.
It's chicken, though, which
It
should
is.
be okay.
Yeah, but it's not.
Yeah.
Especially when you get a po' boy, apparently. So I got myself a chicken po' boy, and it was delicious and it was filling, and I didn't really need anything else throughout the day, but I shot my calories in the foot. So, TLDR, even though you had to listen to it. Sorry, I got on a tangent.
It's okay.
We're
on this journey together. All of us.
After he leaves, I do my yoga exercises. I do I have a 30-day workout app that every day you have to do a certain number of exercises and bust them out.
Yeah.
And then I walk. And I walk the perimeter of my store. And, I mean, we're talking like, what did I shed? Almost 5,000 steps? Or it was like 4,500 steps
Yeah,
almost?
it was a lot of steps. I don't remember what the number was, but it was an impressive amount of steps.
The goal for the day, and I don't count the steps that I'm just normally walking. So this is like purposeful, I am going to walk steps.
Yeah.
So my goal for steps in a day is 6,000. And I can't remember why I set that goal. Maybe it was a goal to burn 500 calories.
However you set the steps was because you were trying to lose a certain amount of pounds.
Yeah.
So I remember that's how you made the connection because you talked about it before.
Okay. So I did that. But while I'm doing this, we have a display that weighs about 9 pounds. And as I'm walking, I'm doing curls with it. And I'm lifting it above my head and switching between arms and pressing it up and then pressing it out from my chest. I'm within the laps that I'm walking. Sometimes I'm marching, so sometimes I'm doing high knees.
Yeah.
I do a side shuffle where I just kind of step and slide and slide, and I'll do that for a lap and do it the other way for a lap. So, I mean, just working different muscle groups is really kind of my goal for it. I walked backwards a lap, which is difficult and disorientating.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, I have gotten the calorie counting under control as far as me doing it religiously. So the next step is making sure that I'm doing my exercises every day.
Is that going to be harder for you think? Or you think?
I think so, because it's really tough for me to tell myself to do them.
Yeah.
And I don't know. So going back to the 500 calories per day, my goal was to do 700 calories per day and then take 2 days off.
Okay.
And from exercise. Now, I'm still probably going to do my exercises here at home, but not the walking.
Yeah.
Even though the walking is the thing that kind of burns the most calories for me, because I am not fit enough to do these exercises to the point where it's a genuine reflection of good calorie burning.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So, I mean, I'm tired by the time I'm done doing them and I feel weak, but...
Yeah, no, and I find myself when I go to exercise in the same boat where it'll be like, here's a beginner's workout. Do 50 lunges or whatever it is.
Right.
And then do this and
that's
that.
a lot of lunges.
And I say that's just a number I pulled out of my ass because you can tell I don't exercise really. But yeah, it'll be however many lunges and I'll get like 5 or 6 in and I'm like, Jesus Christ, this is hard.
Yeah.
Why would anybody want to do this?
Yeah. Yeah, it's pretty rough, but I did a really good I feel good how much I pushed myself last night.
You should feel proud. I mean, you're really throwing yourself into this.
Yeah.
And it's something to be proud of, for real.
So, I don't know. I'm definitely excited to see the results. I'm trying not to step on the scale too much. And I know that some of the weight that I'm changing, the more I exercise, the more I do this kind of tension style training, I'm going to build more muscle.
Yeah.
And muscle weighs more than fat. So we all know that.
Yeah.
But I'm hoping for, at least I'll be more tone and hopefully my body will start to get better at burning the fat or the calories that is coming into my body.
It will.
So.
I mean, something my girlfriend tells me, who is a nurse, tells me a lot. Like I told her about you losing weight and I'm always for fucking years and years I'm always like, I'm fat, I need to lose weight, and then I don't do anything about it. But it's such a simple point, but your body wants to be in shape. Like everybody's body wants to burn calories correctly and wants to eat correctly.
Right.
So if you start making steps to do that, your body will naturally fall in line.
Yeah.
And something that she mentioned with you is at the weight you are at, weight is easy to come off at first.
Yeah.
Because your body just wants to start melting some of that away.
Yeah. Yeah. And that's true. I mean, cutting out the soda was obviously the big thing. People will always tell you once they cut out soda, they lost 10, 15, 20 pounds.
Yeah.
So I know that a lot of me cutting almost all of my soda out, like proper sugared soda, I'll still drink some diet soda and occasionally I'll have a proper soda, but I'm still drinking a Kickstart. every day.
Yeah.
But it's only 80 calories. So I'm not drinking a 2 liter a day.
Yeah, and you're factoring in that 80 calories too.
Yeah, exactly.
And yeah, drinking a 2 liter a day, which you were drinking, is a shit ton of soda.
Yeah, so much sugar.
I wonder if it's got to the point where you drinking a 2 liter would make you sick yet.
I don't think it's got. Well, I don't know. I don't want to try it either. But I will say this: caffeine has a lot better effect on me than it did before.
Yeah.
Because I'm not getting as much of it as I was. I wasn't keeping that plateau at 100%, you know?
Oh, I used to drink close to, if not a 2 liter of Diet Pepsi a day.
Yeah.
And I've cut back a lot just from the nature of being sick of drinking soda all the time.
Yeah.
So I drink maybe half a 2 liter. So still a shit ton of soda, but way less. And I noticed the caffeine affecting me a lot more too.
Yeah. I had some Diet Sunkist, about half a Diet Sunkist 2 liter last week. And I was fucking bouncing off the walls. I was like, all right, I'm going to do this, and I'm going to do this, and everything's going to get done, and it's going to be fucking awesome, man. Oh, it's like I did an 8-ball of Coke. It's great. Don't do 8 balls of Coke, kids.
Unless you got to get stuff done, and then
it's all right. You know, just don't make a habit of it.
Sometimes you got to do shit.
Sometimes shit got to be done. Coke. Sometimes shit has to be done. TM.
Copyright restricted.
Dueling Ogres.
2018.
So
do you want to get into the episode proper?
Yeah, let's do that.
What is our episode this week, Remington?
So we were talking a little bit ago about what were the things with the video games that you were talking about?
The ARGs?
The ARGs, yeah. So the ARGs is kind of like a mystery that you have to solve, you know. It's almost a conspiracy theory in the vein of that kind of thinking.
Yeah.
And Ginger, this was a suggestion from Ginger. She put it on her website, just a link to the Mandela Effect.
Yes.
So the Mandela Effect is a false memory. And the way it came about is in 2010, a blogger by the name of Fiona Broom coined the term to describe this collective memory that everybody had. For some reason, she was at a Dragon Con, and it came up that Nelson Mandela had died in prison in the 80s. And a lot of people remember this thing happening.
Yeah.
In fact, honestly, it even sounded vaguely familiar, as if I had heard this somewhere before. I don't know if it was in reference to the Mandela Effect or if it was in reference to him actually dying in the 80s.
Mm-hmm.
But Nelson Mandela didn't die until 2013.
Yeah, I remember him being released from prison.
Yeah.
It was on TV.
Yeah. So, but her and multiple people at this Dragon Con remember a story about him dying in prison.
Yeah. And they remembered it in the sense of like, no, I 100% remember him dying in prison.
Like, I am certain that I have clippings at home of this occurring.
Of him.
Yeah.
Clippings of Nelson Mandela.
Clippings of his hair at home. His beautiful white hair.
I'm honestly, when you suggested this, I want to say up top before we really get into it.
Yeah.
When you suggested the Mandela Effect, I was surprised that you hadn't heard of it as much as you had.
Yeah.
Like, you've heard of it very little.
Yeah, very, very vaguely. Like, I kind of knew, like, I had heard the phrase before and I kind of knew what it was about. I didn't know the origin of it or anything like that. But, yeah, I was mostly in the dark about it. I kind of knew the premise of it, but I didn't know really to what it was referring.
Yeah.
So, Fiona decided to make a blog and call it the Mandela Effect.
And it's just like the MandelaEffect.org or something like that, I think.
.com, actually.
TheMandelaEffect.com.
Yeah.
What's great is in doing my research about this and reading about her,
yeah,
every article I found referred to her as a paranormal consultant.
Oh, really?
And it was always in quotes. It was always like, the MandelaEffect.com started by, quote, paranormal consultant Fiona Broom.
That's funny.
It's like, damn, internet, throwing some shade.
Yeah, right? So as she continues to like look into this phenomena, as she calls it, or as people call it,
yeah,
she finds that there are a lot more references of people remembering things differently. And not just one or two people, but many, many people remembering things differently than what really occurred in this instance.
Yeah, a perfect example of a false memory.
Yeah, exactly. So as a test, Brandon, you remember Henry VIII.
Yes.
You remember the famous painting of Henry VIII.
Which one?
Just,
like where he's just like standing up holding some food?
Yes.
Yes.
You remember that vividly? What's he holding?
Like a leg of chicken or turkey or something.
Yeah, that he isn't.
Really?
Yes.
What's he holding?
That's a Mandela effect.
What's he holding?
Nothing. And he's sitting. So you can kind of remember he probably has some sort of a
he has
headdress
like a stupid
on.
hat or something.
Stupid hat, probably like a reddish.
Some stupid robes.
reddish colored stupid robe.
Yeah, like striped maybe.
Sitting like this, kind of almost like a little boyish smirk on his face.
Yeah, he looks like a real asshole.
Yeah, it looks like a real fucking wife killer.
Yeah.
Yeah. Hands placed.
Really?
Yes. No, not holding a chicken bone at all, or a chicken leg.
That is weird.
Yeah. So
why do we remember him, or why do I remember him as holding chicken then?
My theory on this is that he was known to be on the side of kind of, a lot of kings and stuff. They were very like Christian oriented, very church oriented.
Mm.
And I think Henry was not. Like, he kind of combated the church a little bit for a little while.
Yeah.
If I remember my history right, and don't freaking quote me on it because I might be getting my kings mixed up. And then, of course, I think he's the one who went through many wives, right?
Yeah.
And so he was kind of lecherous. He was kind of,
Yeah, he would kill his wives because he couldn't get divorced or something.
Yeah.
Because of the laws with the church.
Right. So he kind of has this, what history might call a bad boy persona. And
he's the Fonz of history.
He is. And
the murderous Fonz.
The murderous Fonz. And he suffered an injury from a jousting accident. So he ended up being fairly portly later in his life.
Yeah.
And of course, portliness, your mind immediately thinks of gluttony.
Yeah.
So we just kind of tie those two together and then put a chicken leg in his hand for some reason.
I don't know. Maybe it's just the idea of medieval king holding something because I view him as a glutton. I just assume like every medieval picture, somebody's holding a big turkey leg.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's my thought process on it, because when Ginger asked me the same question when we were talking about it that night, when she linked it on the page, she asked me the same question. Now, I did not think of the chicken bone or the chicken leg. I don't know why I keep saying chicken bone.
Because he's holding a bone. It's like, from what I remember, it's a bone, and then you have the chicken.
And then the meat, yeah. But I absolutely don't remember that, because I remember the picture fairly vividly in my head. Now, I'm sure there are details that even as I was describing it, I got wrong.
Yeah.
Most certainly, but I remember vividly his hands being down, like on his lap or something. So she was a little surprised that I didn't mention the chicken bone.
Did she remember it as that?
Yes. So that's just one of many, many instances. And in the most serendipitous thing to happen to me, we sit down the other night. She links this 3 days ago, something like that. We sit down the other night to watch X-Files. The X-Files episode that is coming on that we had recorded is called The Lost Art of Forehead Sweat. And it's a silly X-Files episode that centers around the Mandela Effect.
Okay.
And the reason why I say the Mandela Effect is because there is a character in there who hearkens Mulder to come to his secret meeting spot in the parking garage. So if you remember from the X-Files, if you're an X-Files fan, there would be an X on the window, on Mulder's window, and that would signify that he's going to have a meeting in his secret hiding spot. It's a safe place, which is in this parking garage.
Okay.
So he looks up after talking on the phone to Scully and realizes there's an X on his window. So he goes to the spot and he meets a nerdy guy in glasses named Reggie. We find out later in the episode that his name is Reggie. And he purports to have been the victim of being erased from history.
Okay.
When he first meets Mulder, he tries to tell this to him. Mulder thinks he's a little nutty. And then some guys start to show up and he's like, were you followed? He's like, no. And then he disappears from the scene. And the guys who were chasing him disappears from the scene.
Disappears like otherworldly, fades away.
Yeah,
disappears.
Not like in camera, but you know how they do that trick where you look away and somebody is gone and then you look back and the other people are gone.
Okay.
That kind of thing. So
clearly paranormal.
Yeah.
In some way,
exactly.
All right.
So, or at least that's what they're trying to establish. So I'll get a little spoilery with this episode, but it's a good one and it's funny too. It's not very serious X-Files stuff.
Yeah, you said it was one of the funnier episodes, right?
Yeah, exactly. So before he disappears, he tells Mulder to look for the first episode of The Twilight Zone. He calls it whatever the episode is, and he says it doesn't exist. This episode does not exist.
Okay.
So Mulder is trying to find this episode, because of course he's Mulder and he has all of the fucking Twilight Zone.
Yeah, naturally.
And he finally ends up having to go through his VHS tapes to try and find it, and he can't find it. So he's telling all of this to Scully. Scully is in the parking garage because it's in the FBI parking garage, I think is what it is. And they had arranged for a date, her and Mulder, to go on a date.
Mm-hmm.
And he's now far too preoccupied trying to find this first episode of The Twilight Zone. So she leaves and she goes to the parking garage for some reason or another. And Reggie comes out and says, he stand you up again, did he? So somehow Reggie kind of knows all of these little quirks for Mulder and Scully.
Yeah.
And he's trying to convince her to find out who he is because he can't remember even.
He just knows that he was erased somehow, but he doesn't know who he is.
Yeah. And he keeps calling them they. They have done this to me. So I won't give away that spoiler, but it's ridiculous.
All right.
It's funny and ridiculous. So he tries to approach Scully. He's getting a little anxious about it all, and Scully, he tries to approach Scully and he's coming at her kind of fast. She's like, whoa, I'm armed. And he's like, oh, sorry. And he reaches into his pocket real slow. And he's like, he pulls out this box of like off-brand Jell-O that she would remember eating when she was a kid.
Okay.
But she cannot find this Jell-O anymore. It's almost as if it had been erased from history. She knew it existed. She swears that it existed. And it's this multi-tiered Jell-O that you're supposed to make. It's of different colors. And it creates like this rainbow effect.
All right. I wonder if that's based on an actual Jell-O.
I don't know. I think it was. I think they even say it in the episode. I didn't rewatch it before doing this. So that's all kind of coming off the top of my head.
Yeah.
So that kind of piques her interest, and then they both meet him again in the parking garage, and that's when they start talking about the Mandela Effect. And Reggie says, nah, it's the Mengele Effect.
Dr. Wuzzle's name was spelled different than how I remembered, not with 2 S's, but with 2 Z's. What's happening?
It's a Mandela Effect.
The what effect?
The Mandela Effect, when someone has a memory that doesn't coincide with everybody else's or the facts. So named because some people have a memory of hearing that Nelson Mandela died in the 80s while in prison, when in fact he died a free man in 2013.
No. It's called the Mengele Effect. Because people have a memory of Joseph Mengele getting apprehended in Ohio in 1970. So it's the Mengele Effect.
The Mandela Effect has been an internet meme for almost a decade. It's always been called that.
See, you're having a Mengele Effect about the Mandela Effect. I should know because of how I found out about it. My search led me to a historical repository of vintage Americana.
So that was a clip from the episode that you just heard, explaining it way better with actors than I can, because I'm not an actor by trade. So Yeah, I mean, it's very, and as we look through history, we find all kinds of instances of the Mandela Effect. So you did some research for it as well, yeah?
Yes.
So what did you find?
I did research on why we believe that it's true.
Okay.
So I did more research on the factual end of things.
Okay.
So I can talk about that stuff later if you want to talk about the actual stuff with the Mandela Effect that you know
Yeah.
now, or do you want me to get the boring stuff out of the way first?
Is there any way that we can kind of split it up a little?
Yeah, we can do that.
Okay, why don't you drop a little bit on us, and I'll go through and name some of the Mannheim effects.
Okay. So when you brought up Henry VIII, the reason that there's a couple different reasons why we have these false memories.
Okay.
One of them is the group effect. I don't remember the actual name of it,
Yeah.
but it's the group effect. So whenever you see people online talking about the Henry VIII or the famous one that I'm sure you'll mention, the Berenstain Bears, it's this group effect where one person says, hey, I remember it being spelled Berenstain Bears, not Berenstain Bears.
Right.
And then it just snowballs online. And it's something called presupposition, which is where you ask somebody, hey, do you remember the Berenstain Bears? And they say, yeah, I do.
Yeah.
And then you say, so you remember it as Berenstein, not Berenstain. And then the person, the way our brains work, a lot of times that presupposition is enough to create a memory in our brain.
Oh, yeah,
where
absolutely.
we say, yeah, I do remember it as Steen. I don't remember it as Stain. That's weird.
Yeah, I'll talk about this in regard to sales every once in a while. There's something that I have seen done even recently where you develop your own ideas about a product.
Mm.
So let's say, for instance, I have 2 mattresses that are from the same company. And one is supposed to be a plush feel and the other is supposed to be a firm feel. Now, for some people, that feel may be the same.
Yeah.
For this particular brand of mattress. It's using the same kind of foam on the top, but it's just using less of it. So that can lead to some people thinking that it feels the same, but other people will feel the difference between them. But as a salesperson, you don't want to presuppose the idea that they feel the same in that person's head. So I have actually told people, hey, I know that you think that this is this way, but don't tell them that.
Yeah.
There's no reason to even
Don't
bring
say,
it in
hey,
a
you can try to
conversation.
feel these. I think they feel the same, but they say that they feel different.
Exactly. So unless it's particularly prudent, because I have a set of mattresses that this is the case, but I also have another set of mattresses that one will feel firmer to one person and the same one will feel softer to another person. And it also has a sister mattress that is they're both considered firm, but one is softer than the other.
Okay.
But it differs from person to person.
Yeah.
It's really funny. So in that instance, it's kind of okay because different people have different feels, but I still don't lead them to one conclusion or the other. Whereas in the previous instance, that presupposition leads the consumer to thinking that those are the same feeling kind of beds.
Yeah, exactly. And those kind of questions, leading questions is what they would be called.
Right, exactly.
Can presuppose a lot of people saying, I remember this.
Yeah.
Another famous example or another big example is the Sinbad movie. Did you see that?
Yep.
The Sinbad genie movie.
Yeah, I was going to talk about that one.
Okay. So do you want to go ahead and talk about that one?
Okay.
And I'll go into it?
So a lot of people seem to recall the actor Sinbad playing a genie in a movie called Shazam.
Yeah.
In the 90s. But we find that that movie actually never occurred. And people will swear up and down that they have seen Sinbad dressed as a genie, so much so that Funny or Die actually made a spoof trailer for the movie.
Oh, I have seen that. Yeah.
And I mean, they did it in kind of an 80s style, and they have Sinbad dressed up. But
try to feed into the maraschino effect a little bit.
Exactly. Yeah. So what, and Sinbad, whose actual name is David Atkins, he actually tweeted out on October 3rd in 2016 tweeted out that the Muhammad Effect may have come from a block of Sinbad the Sailor films hosted in 1994. And he links that down below. So, and I think I might go ahead and link it as well in the show notes. So if you want to check that out, there'll be a link down there.
Well, and here's the thing about this that cracks me up, is people swear up and down that this is a real movie. Shazam, starring Sinbad as a genie.
Yeah.
There's a fucking movie from the 90s called Kazam with Shaquille O'Neal as a genie.
Yeah.
So it's just people confusing black guys.
Right.
That's all it is.
Yeah.
And this leads into the presupposition again, or not leads into, but goes back to the presupposition, because you go up to somebody and you say, hey, do you remember a movie from the 90s where Sinbad plays a genie?
Yeah.
And he's like an urban hip hop kind of genie.
Yeah.
And people are going to be like, even in their brain, if they thought they remembered it as Shaquille O'Neal, if you say Sinbad, most of the time a person, because who really gives a shit?
Right.
A person's going to be like, oh yeah, I remember that. It was called like Kazam or something. It was called Shazam, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, it was Shazam.
Yeah.
Like that's all that this is. The genie one in particular aggravates me to no end.
See,
because you can see the line. You can see where it comes from.
See, the ones that really get me is the misspellings. The Berenstain Bears versus the Berenstein Bears. You know, the cursive that they use, I mean, for one, the Berenstain Bears, the last name of the authors was Berenstain.
Yeah.
So that's where it comes from. There is kind of they're bear representations of themselves, I guess.
Yeah.
Or maybe what they want their family dynamic to be like. I don't know. But
just broken down to the bare necessity.
But the cursive that's used in that, it's very easy to kind of confuse when you're taking a cursory glance.
Mm-hmm.
See, I can make bad fucking puns
you
too.
can make unbearable things. I get
yeah. It's very easy to, at a cursory glance, to see an E as an A or an A as an E.
Yeah.
In a cursive font. So, and then I'm not going to lie, it's easier to say Berenstein than it is Berenstain.
Yeah, Berenstein seems more appropriate than Berenstain in a way.
Yeah.
So, I mean, and I'm falling in on it too. And I grew up in the library. I worked at a library. I used to sit and smuggle Berenstein Bears book into the bathroom when I would poop at the library and read them.
Right.
So
you just said Berenstein right there.
Yeah, exactly. And that's how I was used to pronouncing it.
Right. So another good one is Oscar Mayer. How do you spell Oscar Mayer?
My baloney has a first name. It's Oscar. My baloney has a second name. It's Mayer.
It's Meyer.
It's Meyer?
It's M-E.
Oscar Mayer.
Holy shit, you got it wrong.
Oscar Mayer, yeah.
It's Oscar.
Mayer, I thought.
Nope, it's Meyer.
Maybe I'm thinking of John Mayer.
Yeah, I think you are.
Because they both taste great on buns.
Oh, yeah. I don't know any John Mayer songs off the top of my head.
John Mayer?
That's my John Mayer.
Oh, yeah.
Real soft,
It's
you know.
John Mayer.
Little
Oh,
alternative, but
Yeah.
not too alternative. Yeah.
I don't think you've ever
Easy
heard John
rock.
Mayer.
Yeah.
It's like he's making love to your ears.
Yeah.
He does a lot of hey, yeah.
Yeah, I got
But
you.
yeah, I fell into it too.
Yeah. So, and the misspelling ones, it's just misspellings. It's just like it almost falls into the same vein as the lake that we talked about.
Oh, Chakawaki or whatever. Chakawangagong.
No, Brandon, it's a lot longer than that.
Chakawagagong.
It's Chargagog Manchalgagog Chalbunagungamaug. I mean, if you're gonna do it right. Commit.
I'm sorry.
It's okay. You're
I
forgiven.
did commit. I just committed the wrong way.
Yeah. And you would have got that spelling wrong. And I still will get that spelling wrong. But to be fair, it's 49 letters, so.
Meyer. Yeah, it makes sense.
Yeah. Because John Mayer's name is spelled Mayer.
Oscar Mayer.
Yeah. It doesn't sound right.
Yeah, you're right.
Now, I have never got the spelling of Oscar Mayer wrong. Even singing the song.
Yeah, I mean.
What are you trying to say, Brandon? I'm not a big bologna fan.
I'm saying you've had a lot of experience with lunch meats.
Yeah,
You've had a lot of loose meat experience.
Yeah, I've got a lot of meaty sandwiches in my mouth before.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's a lot of meat in my mouth. A lot of salty meats.
Yeah, all right, okay.
Let's
tone it down.
All
Remington.
right, let's tone it down now. So, I mean, I've got a lot more examples. Do you have some more instances of the magenta effect?
Well, one of the things that it is And this goes back to the picture of Henry VIII.
Yeah.
You ask me that question, we picture him with a turkey leg, or I picture him with a turkey leg.
Right.
And it's because this is something called the Hamilton Effect, where a lot of people remember Alexander Hamilton as president, even though he was never president.
Right.
The reason that they remember him as president is at the time in elementary school, you're learning about presidents. Alexander Hamilton is also somebody that you learn about.
Right. Yes. Because he was a main factor in the growth and establishment of this country. And he's also featured on one of the bills that we use.
Yeah.
Which in a lot of cases is mostly presidents that's on our currency.
Yeah. So our brains, the way, especially as a child, when your brain is forming, you're taking those same neurons that are learning about presidents also are learning about Alexander Hamilton.
Yeah.
So now
or
those
Ben
neurons,
Franklin.
Yeah. So now those neurons are always together. I saw an interesting quote from somebody talking about this in a scientific journal that said neurons that fire together wire together. So you learn about presidents, you learn about Alexander Hamilton. They're both firing.
Yeah.
20 years later, you're trying to recall who Alexander Hamilton is. Those neurons still kind of fire. You get Alexander Hamilton, your brain's like, oh yeah, presidents, where it's in there somewhere too.
Yeah.
So, you learn about Henry VIII and you learn the fact that he was a fat king and that he killed his wives. It's not that huge of a stretch.
Right.
To then jump to like, oh yeah, he had a turkey leg.
Yeah.
And I guarantee there's a painting somewhere, a Renaissance painting of a guy holding a turkey leg that people are getting it mixed up with.
So now, do you think that the Hamilton thing counts as a manicotti effect though?
No, because I don't think you're going to find people who are actually saying, no, I remember distinctly him being president.
Right.
Because you have enough books, you have enough history and historians to be like, no, it's always been, he was never a president.
Right.
And that's where, and we can get into this a little bit with your next examples too, Remington, that people believe that this is an alternate dimension thing.
Yeah. And going back to the X-Files episode, that's something that Mulder relies very heavily on. He wants to believe that it's this alternate dimension where in quantum theory and in the multiverse theory, there's still kind of two camps where it's almost as if the different realities that exist in the multiverse theory are almost in a bubble state. And we have string theory as well. And there's more evidence to support string theory, but I think they kind of interchange.
Okay.
If I'm not mistaken. I mean, you can correct me if I'm wrong.
I would have absolutely no idea.
Okay.
So yes, you are correct.
Okay, good. So spreading misinformation and creating Marlboro effects all over the place. So the idea that multiverses are in their own kind of little bubbles, and sometimes these bubbles brush into each other. And of course, in the multiverse theory, we have an infinite number of universes where if there is a choice, there is an infinite number of choices within that.
Yeah.
So there is a universe where you don't have glasses. There is a universe.
What?
There's a universe where I am thinner than you.
There's a universe where I have 2 pairs of glasses on?
There is a universe where you might have 2 pairs of glasses. So the more outstretched, their outreaching version of this is that these universes are bumping up against each other, and there's this little slip of information that goes from one universe to the other.
And then suddenly we turn from a universe that has Oscar Mayer with an A into Oscar Mayer with an E.
Yeah. So we see this kind of molding of atoms that are carrying information and mixing up the information for a certain number of people.
Yeah.
Or not, or I don't want to say a certain number of people because that sounds finite, but an uncertain number of people.
Yeah, because the idea is that it doesn't happen to everybody.
Right.
Because there's some people who say, no, I remember it always being Berenstain. I remember it being Berenstain. So the theory there goes, at least in people that really subscribe to the mustache effect, is that only some people are transported away with these or something. I don't quite get it. See, to me, what it breaks down to, and this will be my, not final thought on this, but this will be kind of my opinion on the overarching idea of this.
Yeah.
is it's just like horoscopes. If you remember our horoscope episode 41 episodes ago.
Yeah.
Is it real? No. Is it fun to talk about and think about? Absolutely it is.
Right, sure.
And that's what it is. It's always been Berenstain. It's always been Meyer with an E. We just remember shit wrong. Our brains are so fucking can be broken so easily.
Yeah, that's so
as
true.
amazing as our brains are, our memory is just neurons and electrical impulses firing.
Oh, yeah. Oh, it's like when you're driving, like 60% of the stuff that's filled in from is gaps.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, you're looking ahead and you have what you have in front of you. And of course, our eyes drift as we learn to drive. This is a study, and this is getting a little off topic, but this is a study that always fascinated me. A new driver, if you put eye trackers on a new driver, they are looking dead ahead and they are keeping their eyes forward. But if you get a seasoned driver and the same eye tracker, you'll see their irises flit back and forth to different things. You're constantly looking around because you learn that you have to look out for obstacles.
Yeah.
So as you're driving, when you're a seasoned driver, your eyes are always jumping to different things that you're seeing out of your peripheral vision so you can identify it. So you see something red flash in your peripheral vision, you look over to see if it's a red ball bouncing across the street and a kid behind it, so you're not hitting the kid. So an unexperienced driver has been trained to look straight forward because they're petrified of what they're going to hit.
Yeah.
So they think if they're looking, I mean, it's just subliminal almost. When you're learning to drive this piece of death metal, that's essentially what a car is, you are petrified and you want to do the right thing. So you keep your hands on 10 and 2 or 11 and 3, depending on what state you're in. And, you know, you've got your friggin' seatbelt on, and you're keeping your eyes forward and your mirrors are right where they need to be. And you only glance at them for a brief second while you're backing out, because heaven forbid that you turn your head, you know, all kinds of stuff.
Yeah.
So going back to your point, brains can just be fooled so easily because we're filling in this barrage of information that we're always getting. If we're in a place where there's a lot of movement, we may see somebody and get their likeness confused with somebody. Somebody else.
What that is called is confabulation. And that is where we fill in gaps in our memory that we don't remember.
Yeah.
And what makes confabulation, which is such a fun word to say, and that's why I continue to say it. What makes confabulation is it's not done maliciously.
Yeah.
It's not done. If you're doing it maliciously, you're just lying.
Yeah.
If you're not doing it, it's because our brain wants to fill in gaps. You might remember going to the store. You might remember buying X, and you might remember leaving the store. You don't remember everything that was in the checkout line.
Right.
But if somebody asks you, hey, what all did you see in the checkout line? I'll give you $100 if you tell me what you saw in the checkout line.
Yeah.
Your brain is just going to start filling in what you saw at the checkout line by pulling things that you've seen at other checkout lines.
Yeah.
And it will convince you. And what makes a confabulation is you 100% believe it. Your brain just says, oh yeah, I can recall, and I did see gum and condoms and toothpicks and tasers at the checkout line.
Yeah.
So there you go.
Gums and condoms and tasers, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's the kind of checkout lines I'm seeing.
Apparently. So let me ask you this, Brandon. What color is the end of Pikachu's tail?
Now I can't remember. I think yellow?
You are correct. But
some people say brown.
Brown or black. There's a wide margin of people who think that Pikachu has a black end to his tail. But really, the base of his tail has a brown hue to it.
Yeah.
So since you got that one right, is it Sex in the City or is it Sex and the City?
And.
You are correct. It is Sex and the City.
I've seen every season of Sex in the City, Remington.
I know that you have, which is why I asked you that question, both that and the Pokemon one.
Yeah.
Because you're a big Pokemon fan as well.
I think I've continuously made Sex in the City jokes about the Kapow Pop Culture podcast being our Mr. Big, being the Mr. Big to our Carrie.
Yeah.
But people, the way you say Sex in the City and it blends all together.
Yeah,
I could
it's-
easily see why somebody would think it's sex in the city.
Yeah, absolutely. We are lazy when we speak, and when you roll that off of the tongue, you don't put the emphasis on the and.
Yeah, and
You say sex in the city.
we're from
not sex
Appalachia,
and the city.
which means we have an even lazier tongue.
Yeah, exactly. So,
We
okay.
got some of the laziest tongues in all of America.
We are very bad at fellatio. What?
Huh?
Huh? Sorry.
That's more of a wrist.
I guess it depends. Anyway, how does We Are the Champions end?
Of the world.
It doesn't. When they sing the very last We Are the Champions, he does not say of the world.
Really?
Yep.
Well, then where does that come from?
We just fill it in.
Huh.
Yeah.
I saw this one. I'm looking over your shoulder here. Monopoly Man does not have a monocle.
Yeah, Monopoly Man does not have a monocle. You were
Monopoly
looking at
Man
that.
looks like a real dick, doesn't he?
Yeah, he does. Okay, so Curious George.
Mhm.
Tail or no tail?
Yeah, tail.
No tail.
He doesn't have a tail?
He does not have a tail. He is an ape, sir. He is not a monkey.
Oh.
I don't care what they say.
I'm trying to picture him and see, again, this is my brain trying to just fill in
And when
things.
you see this, it will not look correct.
No, it does.
You think the tail looks correct?
No, the tailless looks correct.
Yeah, it does. So, isn't that fascinating?
Yeah, I mean, it's a really shitty drawn tail, though,
It
to be
is-
fair.
Yeah, to be fair, but even if it was, better matched with the subject, I think it would still look incorrect.
Yeah. I'm more amazed that Curious George is an ape.
Yeah.
I thought he was some sort of monkey.
Nope, he is an ape. If it has no tail, it is no monkey.
I feel like the man with the yellow hat should not own an ape. A monkey is more like people own monkeys, but do people own apes outside of zookeepers?
Apparently just the man in the yellow hat. Because he was a dick anyway.
He was just a poacher.
Yeah. Okay. This is a spelling one. So I don't like this one as much because it's a spelling one. Chick-fil-A. Spell Chick-fil-A for me.
I think it's CHIKFILA with a dash between Chick-fil-A.
It is CHICK. Some people will drop the K, some people will drop the second C, but it's both.
Huh.
It is chick, as in the first part of the word chicken, and then fill A. Fill with an F.
So do they have just a giant K or something?
See, now they have the logo here that doesn't have the K,
And it looks,
and it looks correct.
yeah. Another example of the Muckluck effect.
Yep. All right, so how does Vader reveal...
I know this one.
Oh, you know this one? Okay, what is it?
No, I am your father.
So he doesn't say, Luke, I am your father.
No, he doesn't say, Luke, I am your father.
All right. So we all know that C-3PO has a red arm now,
Uh-huh.
but he did have another color other than gold.
Silver.
Yes.
He had a silver leg.
He had a silver leg. Yep.
You're asking the wrong person on this stuff, man.
Yeah, that's good. No, that's fine. I don't mind if you get him right. It's just
so off. It's so close to the gold, his silver leg, that it's kind of hard to tell.
It is. And that's the thing about the Mudbutt effect, is that it doesn't really matter if you remember it correctly or not. There are enough people out there to not remember it correctly. They swear up and down that you are wrong.
Yeah.
So,
And then they would see a picture and either say, "Oh wow, I had no idea," or to be combative in the sense that it's fun to be combative, and you have people who will agree with you to say, "No, he never had a silver leg."
yeah. Did you like Silence of the Lambs?
I've seen it once.
Okay, I know that we do a lot of Silence of the Lambs.
Toughens the nipples, doesn't it?
Yeah, it's like fava beans with a nice Chianti sauce. You can't do it as well. It would be so much better. Just it's
Really
not
gets rid of
creepy
the
at all.
creep factor with some fava beans. Nom, 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 nom. Oh shit. Okay.
So there's a famous line, "Hello, Clarice."
Uh-huh.
Never happened.
Really?
Yep, never happened. He never said, "Hello, Clarice."
So he never greets her?
He says, "Good morning."
Oh.
Yeah.
See, and this is stuff just like with the Luke, I'm your father. I was talking with my girlfriend about this last night when I was discussing doing this episode today.
Yeah.
This has to be just pop culture. He never says hello Clarice, but there's an SNL skit where somebody says hello Clarice.
Yeah.
There's a Conan O'Brien show or something where somebody says it. It becomes popular. People start to say it around the water cooler, and suddenly people remember it.
Yeah, exactly.
A perfect example is Sarah Palin never saying, I can see Russia from my back door.
Yeah.
That was a Tina Fey thing as Sarah Palin, but people now remember it that Sarah Palin said it when she never did.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because something just enters into the social zeitgeist, and suddenly that's what everybody just remembers.
Right. Exactly. And that's really, I agree with you. That is really all it is. I don't think that there's this multiverse theory. I don't think that, the government is trying to control us or whatever other theories were posited.
Well, the government's definitely trying to control us.
Yeah, but not through
sense.
this. Yeah, not through this. But not in the way that is posited in the X-Files episode.
Yeah.
So I do want to point this another aside. There is a scene where he's talking about that Twilight Zone episode, and he distinctly remember watching it, and they cut to a flashback of him as a little kid, but it just has Mulder's actual face morphed onto the kid's body. It's fucking hilarious.
That's awesome.
Cracks me up.
I've heard
So
good stuff about this episode.
Yeah, it's very funny. So yeah, I'm in accordance with you. I think that the Mandelbrot effect is just a product of half-truths and unintentional misinformations entering into, as you eloquently put, the social zeitgeist.
Yes.
Look at us dropping big old words.
I know. Social.
Mm.
So yeah, that's all of the notes I have on the Mugwump effect.
Yeah. If any of you have your own thoughts or things that you remember that other people remember differently about the Mojave effect, just let us know down in the comments.
Yeah. Feel free to call in.
Yeah.
We'll say all that stuff here in a minute, though.
Yeah, we'll do all of that stuff here soon. That wraps up the episode. If you have any questions or comments, or you'd like to hear yourself on air, you can call us at 978-DU-OGRES. That's 978-386-4737. Again, if you have your own effects that you want to let us know about,
blow our minds.
Blow our minds. Tell us something that we swear up and down that we should probably know and don't.
How to podcast.
How to podcast would be a good one, yeah.
Did you know there's an alternate universe where you guys are good podcasters?
You can also reach us on Twitter at Dueling Ogres. Email us at duelingogres@gmail.com and leave a comment on the Facebook page like these nice people. Brandon, go!
Viscount Terry W. Irvin II said, while I could be wrong, it's quite possible the minor editing glitch happened because Rim was so intent on getting episode 140 finished and available before I posted another Babylon 5 video clip. So we lost the ending, right?
Yeah.
From last episode.
Yeah, we did, yeah.
So Terry, I talked about it at length. I appreciate the Babylon 5 clips you left on the episode before last.
Yeah.
I'm not quite sold on the show, but I did enjoy especially the character. Shit, it's been so long I don't remember the character's name now. He comes from a long line of characters all named the same thing. You tagged me in it and you said, I think Brandon will enjoy the humor in this.
Yeah.
I totally did. You have me pegged at this point.
Yeah.
I enjoyed the humor. Jordan Lowe, who we don't have a title for yet.
No, we don't. We don't have he's part of our nemesis, Kapow the Pop Cultured Podcast. God damn, you guys need to change your name. It's so hard for me to say.
Kapow the Pop Cultured Podcast. There's a lot of plosives.
My mouth gets in the way. There are a lot of plosives.
My mouth gets...
I have a big tongue and big lips. I can't help it. There's a lot of P's in there.
It's too many P's.
Too many P's. I'm B-word fat. Just B-word fat. I said my P's and my D's and my P's and my B's.
Jordan Lowe said the origin of the Inhumans. We talked about the Inhumans on the last episode.
Yep, he's correcting us because that's what a good comic book store owner does.
Yeah, he knows. That's why partially I feel like we've gotten away from comic book news a little bit because there's another podcast out there
that does a way better job
than we do. We don't read them, so when we do, it's just all hypotheticals.
Yeah.
Like, I think Batman's parents are dead, maybe. He said the origin of the Inhumans involves an ancient race of Kree experimenting on a more primitive population and not selling their movie rights to Fox in the 90s. Their main powers involve hair, talking loudly, and being legally distinct from mutants. They have successfully hidden from humanity for generations by having a mostly non-existent fan base. Jordan, you win my favorite comment of the year. That made me laugh a lot.
Okay, it's awfully early on in the year for you to name a favorite comment of the year.
Well, it's my favorite comment of the year so far.
Oh, okay. So you have to have those descriptors in, Brandon. What if you say that later on somebody else has a favorite comment and you...
Then that comment supersedes the original comment.
Yeah, but not if you don't put the descriptor in.
It's not a fucking annual awards, Remington. I'm not giving him a goddamn trophy.
Give him a trophy. I'm telling you, you need to make Jordan a trophy out of paper.
Hair?
Paper and hair.
I made you a trophy out of my hair, Jordan.
Nathaniel Kaiser also sent us an email. I'd like to nominate Rem for fuck shit of the week.
Yeah. Does he say why?
Probably for fucking up the podcast.
Oh, okay.
That's what I assumed. Anyway.
I'm going to second it.
The dick shooting cracked me up. When I think RoboCop, that's exactly what comes to mind. Also, I highly recommend watching Buckaroo Banzai. The whole time I watched it the first time, I couldn't stop laughing. Everything from the prop quality to the plot and character names, John Big Booty, is just too much. Eclectic for sure. And I think it's Big Booty.
Booty?
It's either Big Booty or Big Booty, or there might actually be a joke. Like I said, it's been a lot of years since I've friggin' seen it, so...
I'll have to check it out. I still haven't watched it.
Yeah, it's pretty funny. I really enjoy it. So that's it for the comments, right?
Yep, that's all we had as far as comments go.
Awesome. Thank you all for commenting. Make sure to subscribe to our website at duelingogres.com for news, shows, and articles pertaining to some of your favorite geek news. I am also streaming most nights of the week on Twitch. Sometimes it's good, sometimes it's not so good. Depends on what I'm playing and how tired I am.
Yeah.
But absolutely come over and drop a follow on that. I'm really excited about doing it, even if it's not super incredible.
No, I think you're doing a good job with it too.
Well, thank you. I appreciate that. But if you like watching games, or even if you don't, just make a Twitch account and just sign up and follow me for no particular reason at all.
Just come and say hello.
Yeah, come and say hello. Come and join me. I do a lot better if there are people in the chat. That's for sure, because I can talk to people.
Yeah. Something I notice is whenever I jump in randomly, you're still talking, though.
Yeah?
Yeah, like even if you're by yourself, you're still talking, which makes for good watching.
Yeah. I'm trying to develop... One of the things that streamers and especially like the gaming YouTubers do, they will talk to themselves, or they'll vocalize things that they're seeing, or they'll make little jokes or little gestures or name things that don't need a name.
Yeah.
And part of that is just so you can be entertaining. You know, it's a different mindset. If you're sitting there playing a game by yourself, you're not talking to yourself. But you might be thinking some of these things.
I do talk to myself when I play games.
Oh, do you?
Yeah.
Okay. Some people don't. A lot of people don't. So...
I have a lot of like, oh, you son of a bitch.
Yeah, well, yeah, but I think everybody has that, like the dealing with the frustrations. But like if you see a cute little doll that you've happened across that's in the game for no real reason, and you just name that doll Bucky.
Okay.
And then you dress him up like Captain America and put him in your Discord chat so you can have somebody to talk to.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I feel like you're talking about real life at this point.
Yeah, I'm talking about real life Bucky.
Yeah.
We also have a Discord. You can always chat us up there.
We're always... chatting in there.
We're always making chats.
I was trying to...
What the fuck are you doing?
I was trying to find a way to sell it, and I just lost it.
Yeah.
I was trying to there's always something going on in there. We're always talking in there. I was trying for that.
Yeah.
But
you just...
Instead, my brain just went blank.
Burn.
We're always just chatting in there,
We're
guys.
always just... And finally, be sure to leave us a 5-star review on iTunes, or find us on YouTube, iHeartRadio, and nearly anywhere else you can find a podcast. So until next week, Ogres, keep your tusks sharp.
And your clubs blunt.
Good night.
Perfect.
That's the end. How do you do that?
This doesn't work with that video, but it's...
I can't do it. I can't get my arms. I can't get my arms close enough together.
They don't need to be. They can be far away.
I can't now. It's just rubbing. It's just rubbing. I can't do it.
The interview is so hot.
That's stupid. We're stupid.
Yeah, it's all dumb.
This is a good episode. I liked it.
Yeah, it was.
I was so excited. I'm so excited to have you here too.
I know. I'm going to try to
friend.
make it every Wednesday now.
Okay. Cool.
Good thing we weren't recording yet.
Yeah, that would have been really awkward if we were saying things like that on the recording.
Fortunately, we've just started the recording, so.
Yeah, we have.
We will not do what we were just doing again.
No, we won't. I forgot my water, Brandon.
I
I know I'm the worst human being that has ever existed.
Then be dry.
No! I refuse! I recant!
That's all right. Nothing can stay dry around me. Because of my sense of humor. It's very dry. He'll come back in laughing. He always does. It's a thinker, the joke that I made. Because whenever I say that nothing stays dry around me, I pretended that it was about my sense of humor, but it's not. We all know what it's about. Shh, it's okay. Don't worry about it.
You're dead to me.
Fuck you.
Okay. Oh, yeah, we need to come up with a bunch of fucking things.
Mandingo?
Yeah, like literally anything. Every time we say it, we pick another word to cross off. In fact, let me go ahead and do it on a...
We're going to be saying the word a lot, though, Remington.
Are we?
I assume so.
Are we really? That's the whole point, Brandon.
If that's what we're talking about.
That's the whole point.
It'll add to the confusion, though.
Exactly. This is a fun episode.
So you want this to be some sort of mind fuck episode.
Yeah.
You want to take the viewers and turn them sideways and just fuck their minds. Huh?
Yes. I just want to ear fuck them.
I want to take my mind dick.
And put it in your ear fuck hole.
Really just the whole thing.
I like
you saying that, blowing your nose, and then...
What I like most is that the ear fuck hole could be anything. Or it could just be the ear.
Yeah. I think it's just the ear.
Like,
it's the special fuck hole.
Yeah.
It's the special, like, mind fuck part of the ear.
Okay, so we have...
You're just fucking a brain, is really what you're saying.
Yeah. Okay, so we'll use Mangala.
It's like the worst Superman villain. Somebody stop me before I fuck another brain! What would his name be? Would it just be Mindfuck?
Yes.
Come, Robin. We've got to stop Mindfuck.
Golly gee willikers, Batman.
Looks like another mind's been fucked by Mindfuck.
Great Scott!
Oh, shit. I love Mindfuck.
Oh. Turn that on vibrate. How much time do we have?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
As long as we need, baby.
All right, so Mangione.
Mandelbro.
Okay.
Mandingo. Mannheim, like Mannheim Steamroller. Matchbox 20.
I don't like the way try saying effect after it, and if it doesn't sound like it's
Matchbox Effect.
Yeah, we can roll it.
I mean...
Yeah, I want a bunch of them.
You knew what I was going to say.
Yeah. No, I do.
Beggars can't be choosers here, Remington.
No. And the funny thing is when I thought of this idea, I thought of like probably 13 of them, and I am not remembering.
Yeah. Manicotti? Marlboro?
That's exactly what I was just typing.
Really?
Yeah.
Michigan?
Really?
Is that really what you were just thinking?
Yes.
That is fucking weird.
I forgot how to spell Michigan.
Michigan.
Okay. My brain is worried as to why you're fishing around in it. Let's see here. Mothman.
The Mothman Effect. Mud? Something with mud? The mud butt?
Mud butt.
Sure.
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 Yep,
throw a mud butt in there.
Well, we got a mud butt.
Courtesy of the mind fuck.
Mind fuck. I like how he laughs like fucking Skeletor. I'll get you next time, He-Man.
Leave no mind unfucked. How many do we have? It's probably good, right?
Oh, we got 11.
Morphine?
Mortice?
Mortician?
Mortimer?
Magician? Do we have that one?
Nope.
Megan? The Megan Effect? No.
Yeah, I think we almost need... Well, no, because we have several that only have 2 syllables. They're just more complex, I guess, than Megan.
I'm drawing a blank.
Mazel tov?
The Mazel Tov Effect. So just as we talk about it, we're just going to use a different one every time?
Yeah.
Okay.
At least until we run out.
And then we'll just cycle back through again.
Yeah. You know what? Fucking words that start with M. What's mezuzah?
Mezuzah?
Yeah.
I have no idea.
Oh, it's a Jew thing. It is. It's Hebrew.
It's a Jew thing?
Comprises a piece of parchment called a clef contained in a decorative case and inscribed with specific Hebrew verses from the Torah. These verses consist of the Jewish prayer Shema Yisrael, beginning with the phrase, "Hear, O Israel, the Lord is our God. The Lord is ... So I already have Mazel Tov, though. I don't want to go. There are a lot of very Hebrew sounding words here. Mitzvah.
The mitzvah effect.
Yeah. Mugwump. What the fuck is a mugwump?
It's a type of fictional animal, I think.
A person who remains aloof or independent, especially from party politics. Oh, so I'm a mugwump.
Oh, really? I
Yes.
thought it was some sort of like cryptid.
No, I guess not. Fuck it, mugwump.
Yeah, I was going to say, I think we should put mugwump just for the funness of saying the word mugwump.
Yeah. Maxwell.
Maraschino?
Yeah.
You sounded dejected with that one.
I don't know how to spell that either.
I'm not sure how to spell maraschino either.
I think it's
Marascino?
M-A-R-I-A. Maria. No, never mind. M-A-R-A-S-C-H-I-N-O.
Maraschino. Just give me the maraschino cherry.
Don't fucking... How dare you? How dare you? You piece of shit. Fucking shit in your tower. Fucking nap. What's funny? Okay.
I think this is probably good.
No, it's not. We'll be saying it a lot more.
Then 20 times?
Yes.
Do you plan on just going for a record for how many times somebody works the word Mandela Effect into a discussion? Even if it is a discussion about the Mandela Effect?
I just want to be covered, Brandon. I want to be the very best.
Yeah, I know.
Mucklucks.
Mucklucks. Muckluck.
That'll be a good one for anybody who knows what the fuck we're talking about.
Yeah.
The Muckluck effect. We'll leave the S off.
Do we have magenta already?
No. There's a monkey called a mangabey.
Mangabee's pretty good.
What did you say?
Magenta? Malignant?
Mangabey. Mangabey.
Good recording.
Mangabee.
Mangabey.
Uh-oh.
Mangabey.
Oh.
Mangabey.
Please,
Mangabey.
let me out of this computer.
Muskox.
Muskox?
Yes.
The Muskox effect?
Yes. Maxim.
Maxi pads. Can't help but notice you didn't type maxi pads, Rivington. We don't have to say maxi pads.
Mojave.
Muhammad?
Mojave.
We can do Muhammad too.
How do you spell Mojave?
Mojave.
That's right. I knew it did.
That's what we named our cat.
Oh, that's right. It's probably what was in the back of my head. What did you say?
I don't remember. I just said it too.
It was a fighter.
Muhammad.
And fucking,
A deity.
yeah.
Yeah.
Well, he wasn't a deity. He was just
He's basically Arabian Jesus.
it's like a saint.
No, I think I would know
Maybe
a little bit more about
more.
Muhammad than you would.
I don't know.
Why that would be.
Yeah.
I took Religion 101.
Oh, so that makes you a fucking expert, does it?
Entry level religion class 10 years ago in college.
I knew I didn't spell it right. That's why. Muhammad.
Mustachioed?
Mustachioed
Mustachioed. The mustache effect?
Yeah, we can do it. Script. I think we've probably done memorable, but I think it's appropriate for this episode.
Mammogrammable. Mud butt.
Yeah. Mud butt.
Mud butt.
Yeah, mud butt. Mud butt. Hey, Chris. Mud butt.
It loses all meaning as a word pretty quickly.
Yeah. Mud butt. 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 It's hard to do right,
Yeah.
bro. Mud butt. Mud butt. Mud butt. Mud butt. It just turns into that.
Yeah. Ugh.
It's the grossest sound in the world
You're
on a
just
microphone.
making all kinds of noises into
I
the
just
microphone.
make 'em
You're just
all.
having fun with that
I'm
microphone
just
now.
putting that microphone in my butt.
Yep. My butt microphone.
My mud butt. Okay, are we ready to fucking do this?
Yes.
This bullshit show.
Just do this piece of shit
Fucking son of a bitch.
for you,
Horse.
not for anybody.
Horse cocks. What?
You were possessed by the horsecock's demon again.
Oh no. Hello, ogres, and
Wait,
welcome.
am I doing this one?
What?
Am I doing that? I thought I was
Oh
doing
fuck
this one.
yeah, I forgot. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. Can you see it?
I can't now that you've moved your giant head out of the way.
Okay, good. Oh, this is gonna be weird.
I know. I gotta try to get your excitement here too.
Okay. I like the intentional misinformation spread. It's
Yeah.
good. I like it.
We're regular Fox News, Remington.
Yeah. Or any other news.
Divorce.
Well, we've done pretty good as far as it goes.
I think we just wrap it where it is.
You think so?
I think so. I mean, this was a good episode. We did some talking. We talked for probably about 15, 20 minutes at the beginning.
Yeah.
We got this. I think this can be one of our themed episodes. And we've done good on time.
Yeah, we have.
We're like an hour and 20, hour 30.
Yeah, after editing, probably.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
I really hope that somebody listens to it and really appreciates what we did with this.
Yeah, me too.
Especially me doing the opening and then us reversing. We'll have to remember we might have to try it once, but reversing the ending too.
Yeah.